Well. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Check Swing podcast right here on Neutral Radio's YouTube channel. We got my man Slick 18, but of course you guys know him as Miguel. And I'm going to say it right now. I think I know this. Like I know this one, but I can't think of it.
I did this one for you. I think you know it too.
Okay. I know. Yeah. Okay. But last week we had Coach Monique Boykins, head coach of Penwood Lady Patriots, the organizer, what would you call it? The team success. You are the what?
I am the director and actually the CEO of Team Success.
The director and CEO of Team Success. We're gonna get that information to you as well. Just all around good person. She's on the school board. She's a microbiologist. She does it all. She's
trying to save the world. She's trying to save the world.
You know what, guys? Ha ha ha.
No. We're giving you your flowers. We're giving you flowers while you're here. You know, we don't want to talk about you later on when you're done. We want to talk about you doing it. Absolutely.
I'm just very modest. That's all. But thank you very much.
Well, let me do the bragging for you. That's my job. But last week we had Monique on, and we were talking about a lot of things. Actually, we were talking about more than we actually bargained for. We got into a lot of Monique's story of what she's been up to in her coaching career over the past, what would you call it, 4 years? We discussed.
Yes.
So, your journey from Penwood to Lower Marion and then back to Penwood. We talked about that. If you want to hear about that, you can go over to the Neutrals Radio YouTube channel and check out the episode in which we talked about that. It's the one with Monique on there. She looks just like she looks right now. And but right now, we had her on to talk about diversity in sports and in coaching and really in the workplace in general. And we really didn't get a chance to get into that because the other conversation got so interesting and so good, and it was just we had to talk about it. We had to talk about it. But we're back now talking about diversity in the workplace. Welcome. Coach Mo, as I like to always start the shows that I do, I always like to ask the people. I'm asking you as well, Miguel. How have y'all been the past week?
I've been great myself. I can't complain. First and foremost, my birthday was on Sunday.
Oh yes, happy belated. Happy
29th birthday.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
I'm not letting her get away with that.
I was. We're just going to keep it rolling. So I went zip lining. I went to the Colorado hot springs. I got the opportunity to go into, like, they have pools where the flow streams come right from the hot springs into the pool. So I was in one pool and it was like 120 degrees. It was pretty cool. So I really enjoyed my birthday this year. Definitely did it my way, I can say.
That's cool. That's what's up. That sounds good. I saw the film. I was like, where is she? I wonder where she is. Where's she celebrating?
You would have thought I was in Miami, right? The way I was
Miami or some type of island or something like that. But
all the selfies, all 75 selfies.
So okay, yes, okay. I admit I am a selfie queen. I love taking photos of myself. I love myself. I just do. It's just this thing I have. Even at my desk at work, I have mirrors. So like it's just this thing I have with me. But it's an awesome thing, and you never know when you need a mirror. But I can say that I love sharing those photos with everybody. Though it was pretty cool. Had a great time.
Well, like I said,
and I was supposed to be on the beach. By the way, I was supposed to be in Cabo, and my cousin forgot his passport, so we had to change flights quickly.
Forgot it! Like forgot to bring it to the airport.
No, like like left it at home. And he lives in Maryland, so
wow.
I know what
That
a
hurts.
story.
That
Like,
hurts. Like that really
I
hurts.
know Cabo, Colorado, but but you know what? I needed that. I needed that. Oh, I also went to the Garden of the Gods. Forgot to throw that in.
I've never
Amazing.
heard of that. What is that?
So it's basically a mountainous view of, like, they have something called Twin Peaks. It's like these two mountains that are like really, really huge. Over, I think they said over like 5,000 feet or something. The peaks go up to, but I think they're one of the hugest peaks in Colorado. So it was pretty nice though. It's called, and it's not like a garden. It's just like they've left the landscape natural as it is, and you walk through and you see the mountains and things of that nature. And the Red Rock, of course.
Ooh, well, it turned out to be it sounds like it turned out to be a wonderful birthday for you.
Yes.
Glad you got a chance to enjoy it. Miguel, how have you been over the past week? I'm not as good as
No, definitely.
Coach Mo, I'm sure.
No, I was in the beautiful mountainous area of Lock Haven University.
What a drive, right?
Oh my! It was 3.5 hours. It was very scenic, very nice. But the campus is beautiful. But we had our first summer tournament with the 15Us. They rock and rolled on Saturday. We won 10-5 and 7-1. But we came up just a bit short on Sunday. One of our guys pitched 5 2/3 innings and then 2 errors, and we lost 3-0. So it was a pitcher's duel until the very last inning. So we didn't make it to the championship, but yeah, not as mountainous or as scenic as where Mo was at this weekend. So
listen, when you play baseball, to go there. When you play baseball or have been a part of baseball for as long as you or I have been, you tend to be in some of those types of games, and they hurt. Those games hurt. Those games really hurt. It's like getting beat by a buzzer beater after going back and forth all day.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts.
Pretty much.
Yeah, definitely.
So
well, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys were, glad you guys had a wonderful week. Miguel partially knows how my week was because I was supposed to be out there in Lock Haven with him, but I couldn't make it. Just, it happens. But I'm here now, and we want to talk about diversity in the workplace, diversity in sports, diversity in coaching, with Coach Monique Boykins. And we started to get into it a little bit last week, but we want to go ahead and dive into it now. Excuse me. Coach, I want to start it off general, and then we'll dig in a little bit. What are your thoughts, and what has your experience been with diversity in the workplace? Have you been a part of some diverse situations in the workplace and in the coaching realm, or have you noticed some things have been kind of one-sided, whether it be a gender thing, whether it be a racial thing? What has been your experience?
So, I mean, we all know about Title IX, and we all know about the differences that were founded with regard to Title IX. That's the reason why we have it now. So, I have seen it personally where girls' teams were slighted more than the boys' teams, or it on the outside surface. Sometimes it can look like one team is getting more than the other, but it all depends on what the information that because I can honestly say, I've had the opportunity to have 2 different ADs. I've had the opportunity to see how a athletic department runs. Since I'm also a school board director as well. So I had that opportunity too. So I can actually see it at different levels. Now, there are differences. I have seen differences, like I said, between sports wise, where one gets more than the other, or kind of one is promoted more than the other. I mean, we see it in front of us. Let's talk about the NBA, how right now during NBA games, you don't see ESPN broadcasting so many WNBA games like they should. Even during WNBA games, you see a lot of NBA broadcasts and things of that nature. You even see the slightness there. I just think there's a lot of differences, and it starts from the bottom up. So you see it at the adolescent age, with sports, and it goes on.
You bring up a good point with the WNBA and the NBA right now, because as we know, the NBA is in the playoffs right now, and of course, never mind. I'm not even going to say. I'm not going to put that out there, but right there. The WNBA is in their season. This is the summertime is usually the WNBA season. This is usually the very end of the NBA season. The NBA finals usually ending around now. Famously, Michael Jordan had a finals end on Father's Day. I think yesterday or 2 days ago was like an anniversary of Kobe's one of Kobe's finals against the Orlando Magic. There's been, the summer usually belongs to the WNBA. Not the case right now, because these NBA playoffs are expected to go into July, and then you have, of course, the Olympics coming up, which is going to be an NBC type thing. So, that's not going to interfere with the WNBA. But we do see that WNBA gets slighted. Now, let me play devil's advocate here. If I'm a network and I'm talking about viewers, I work in TV, so I know a lot of these things work. You want eyeballs on your station, no matter what you have on. You want eyeballs on your station. The NBA, to me, doesn't need advertisement for playoffs, but of course they have it. And since the playoffs started, I really haven't seen anything about the WNBA. Maybe like 1 or 2 commercials. The most I've seen is the commercial with Chris Paul and Sabrina. Is it Sabrina Ionescu? I believe. That's like the most I've seen about WNBA since these playoffs has been in the second round, right? Why do you think that is happening that way? Do you think it's because it's a man's game and they want to promote the men, or do you what do you think that is in your opinion?
Okay, so what do I think it is? It comes down to money. Okay, so for instance, the NCAA during the NCAA finals, the national championship, and the playoffs per se, you can see where the girls got slighted with regard to advertisement. The men's got more. The men's teams had more advertisement. Also, it was more ability to see them play, more opportunity to see them play. And you may ask, why does it happen? It happens because it's about money. It's coaches go word for word on Twitter all the time about this, and you may have a lot of people like myself that feel strongly that I feel as though that the same type of energy that they put behind the men, they should put behind the women. I feel that way. I feel like at the end of the day that, giving the women that type of energy, they should get it, but what we see is that we see that people have their opinions as far as, well, the women do not generate enough revenue in order to provide that type of, I guess that type of convenience per se.
Almost in a sense where it's they're putting more money into what they feel like they can get the most money out of, the most return on their investment, the most ROI. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because and Miguel, I'm sorry, you might kill me for saying this, and all the baseball people that we know might kill me for saying this. You have professional baseball, you have college softball, right? Professional baseball played by men, college softball played by women. I'm saying it on camera. I enjoy watching the women's college softball more than I enjoy watching professional baseball.
I do too. Yeah.
And I do see a lot of advertising, especially this season. And I don't know why this season in particular, but especially this year, I saw a lot more advertising in the softball game, more so than the College World Series. Because that's going on right now too. But unless you're into it, you probably wouldn't know. But I've seen a lot of softball advertisement. So do you think it could be a thing where they're just kind of putting the money into what is, I guess, more exciting to the viewer? And if so, will that diversity gap, can that diversity gap ever really be closed?
So I think that one, we are in a time where people are now waking up, networks are waking up, and they're starting to be more inclusive. I mean, we see it all around now, more inclusiveness, diversity, and things of that nature. You see more female coaches getting hired in certain areas. Right now, we have 14 female assistant coaches in the NBA at this time. So I believe 63, we have 222 head coaches in the NCAA, college coaches at this time. So I think that it's growing. Now, just a few things before I discuss about like the coaching aspect, because I have a theory on that as well with regard to female coaches versus male coaches for female sports, or just in general. But what I want to say is that overall, I think that networks are waking up and they are trying to be more inclusive, but I think that we just need to move faster in what we're doing. Right now we have a lot of women advocating for higher pay in the WNBA. We also have women with higher endorsements and higher contracts now. So we're getting there, it's a shame. I had just posted the other day, Dawn Staley's contract this year, I believe, for South Carolina is $1.8 million that she'll make this year for USC. And, under the posts, I'm slowly seeing people commenting and they're saying, well, one person said, well, she should be getting more. She basically revived a program that was dead. And some people say, well, she should have got more than Kim Mulkey, Coach Mulkey, and my thing is like this. For Dawn to make it as far as she was a kid from Philly with a dream, a woman, Black woman at that, and she's played college. She's paid for the country, So it's just like I look at it as she's broken down so many barriers and shown that, hey, you can do it in this pathway. So with regard to diversity, like I commend, $1.8 million as an African American head coach, a woman, to me, that's amazing. Should she get more? There are always going to be critics. But what I would say is that's where the diversity comes from, with showing that, hey, someone that looks like me can make it in this arena, can dance.
Now let me ask you this, because I know Miguel. I told Miguel to go next, but I gotta ask you this. She's getting 1.8 million. Is she the highest paid college coach?
No.
Who is that? Do you know who the highest paid female college coach?
If I'm correct, I think it will be Kim right
now. Okay, that's what. So, do you know what she's making?
I would have to double check.
Okay.
2.8 for LSU. I had posted about it. I think it was like 2.8. She's the coach for LSU.
I think I would be one that would, you said I don't see it as critical, but I think, and I'm a little biased too at the same time, I think I would be one to say Dawn Staley probably deserves more money.
And that's fine. I don't like to get into those debates on what one deserves and what one shouldn't. All I can say is at the end of the day, I am so glad that I know she had to break through a lot of barriers to get where she is right now, and I just commend her on that, because I know me as a female coach, what I've went against, even when we coach against males. Some people look at it as that, oh, a male can do it better. But at the end of the day, females, we have a different knack with us. When coaching, for instance, coaching female players in general, the way that we can direct when we speak with them, the tone that we use is like males can't do that. Males can't do that because, and at the end of the day, also, I believe that, Females can't BS us either. Players might be like, oh, I got cramps today, I don't want to play. No, you're going to run through those cramps. I've been, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like a few things that we can do in handling with care, but understanding another female's point of view or where she may be coming from. I'll give another example. Personalities. It's really hard for male coaches to understand female personalities. You have males that they'll coach females and they feel like they got to make them tough or they got to make them rough. That's no, that is not what we need. By watching female basketball, you learn finesse. We finesse the game. I think that people just don't really understand that. They really don't understand that. But I just wanted, not go on a tyrant, but just to let everyone know that I just think that female coaches coaching female basketball or a female sport, it's a different type of body language. It's a different type of vibe that we have that we're able to deliver with our female players versus what that you can get from a male.
Okay, so. Miguel?
No, it was interesting, hearing about the different styles between, the way women play and the way males play. So what would you say, what aspects would you focus on that would help promote women's basketball matching up to men's basketball, if that makes sense?
Yes. So we need to have more advertisement around the women. Or like, for instance, more highlights. We don't have that many highlights. Males get so many highlights,
Would you say, because whenever I see basketball highlights on ESPN, it's always the dunk. It's always like stuff
off the rim.
Right, being above the rim, and going back to what you were saying, like women are more about the finesse of the game, So yeah,
we need to highlight when we have that defensive player of the week or defensive player of the game, just as much as they highlight in males basketball, we have to highlight in female sports. Well, male sports and female sports, but per se, just talking about in basketball, I think that we're not given enough credit, enough information. Like, we're not telling. First and foremost, all games are not broadcasted. Let's start off there.
That's right.
All games aren't broadcasted. If you want people to be in the know, put them in the know. Let them have the ability, the opportunity to be able to see these women play. Not even that. I would start off with the WNBA app, making sure that everybody has access to it. Promote the app, just like you promote ESPN app, promote the WNBA app. I just think it starts there, of just giving women more credit. Also, what you're starting to see is more women on ESPN commentating, which I'm really seeing. It's really, really good seeing that,
For every sport too.
Yeah. And then you see Candace up there with Shaq.
Cool. That was good.
So it's just like, they always go back and forth and stuff. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We're enlightening people. We're getting people to understand that, we are just as important, just because we're females, and people may think that we're not as strong or we're not as tough. Being a female, never forget, we carry children. I think that people really need to think about that. Like, I don't think they think about what a female, what females are. So we bring a whole different type of energy to the game. And that's one reason too, when I coach, I always have male and female staff. I always have that. Very important. Delivery can come from anyone. But with regard to like diversity, we need to really start hiring more females in the workplace, especially athletes, with regard to leadership positions.
As interesting that you say that. I wanted to go somewhere else, but let's go there. Hiring more. You're talking about in the work, hiring more females in the workplace. Female athletes.
Yes.
Why female athletes?
Okay, so not just female athletes, but athletes in general. There's some diversity issues right there, because in general, right, some people, they look at a resume and they say, oh, this person played basketball in high school, college, whatever, overseas, whatever it may be. And they look at us as just jocks. they don't look at us as more than what they see sometimes from the outside. So with that being said, opportunity sometimes comes in a different way, or they'll say, instead of taking this position, we want to give you a different position because of your athleticism. Believe it or not, I mean, people look at it in that way. So I think that we should definitely start hiring more athletes in leadership role, because we have it. We learn this characteristic when we're playing on a team. That's why I always coach and say basketball is a metaphor of life, because of the fact that the things that you learn when you're on a team are, they're life building blocks, and they're a part of character. So I think that we should definitely put more athletes, and even female athletes, in leadership roles. Why not?
Hey, I don't see why not. I was an athlete in college. Put me in a leadership role. Actually, let me not even go there. So let's talk about your personal experience with diversity that you've seen in your coaching career, in your what would you call it, the microbiology career? Would you say microbiologist
This is awesome.
career?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I would love to talk about this. Okay. So currently, I commute back and forth from PA to Maryland. If I have to stay in Maryland, I can. But I work for a company that's out in Maryland, and they produce vaccines and different drugs for other drug companies. So with that being said, I think, hold on one second, please.
She's yelling to somebody, saying she's letting them know she's on a call. If you could read those lips.
I'm glad that's all she said.
Yes. My apologies.
It's all right. It's all right. Go ahead.
So so quick story. Since 7th grade, I knew I wanted to be a scientist. I always knew I wanted to be a microbiologist. Okay. So then I went to college, became a microbiologist. And from that point, I wanted to work for a company called DuPont. I always wanted to work for DuPont. That was what I really, really wanted to do. In my mind, I'm like, that's the ultimate job. Not even knowing that DuPont was not anywhere where I wound up, right? So I wound up working for Merck, making the chickenpox vaccine. And when I worked for that company, I was actually in the union. I was actually doing something called the cytopathic effect. I would tell the company when it was time to inject we used MRC5 cells to inject them with the varicella.
Wait a minute. I like how you just said that. Like I just so happened to. I was talking about MRC5 cells like yesterday. I'm like how you just threw that in there.
It's so funny. It's just part of my, that's everyday, talk for me. So
right. I get it.
Yeah.
I guess. But I got to ask you, what are MRC5 cells now? Because I have no idea.
So if you, it's from the lung of a fetus, MRC5 cells, and then they also use the lung of mice as well. MRC5 cells are the cells that are inside the lung.
Learn something today.
We use those cells, which are very common to use to incubate the virus for the vaccine to be produced. And so basically what I would do was tell the company when it was time to inject the MRC5 cells with the varicella virus, which then would eventually will grow into a large vat. So we are now in commercial production of that. And that's something I've always done, worked on a commercial team. And then I used to work on a clinical team as well. So with that being said, the reason why I brought that up was that when I worked for that company, it was very diverse. I was in the union. And then after I worked for that company, there's several different companies. And what I noticed is that it was always different for me to go into a different level. Like right now, you guys know I'm a school board director, I'm a basketball coach, I'm a scientist, I'm a general manager of an ABA team. I say these things because I already know leadership. I found it hard for me to grow in those environments I found it hard for me. It was always one of me. It wasn't ever several. This new company I'm at in Maryland, it is amazing. You see people that look like me that are in that position, and it's like meeting African American scientists is amazing. For me, it is because you don't see a lot. Some people don't like to, I would say, as a child growing up, you've seen so many people go against science and say, it's too challenging, it's too hard, I don't want to go that route. You've seen it all the time. So just to meet others that are like you, just like in college, it's an amazing thing. But the problem is that in the North, you don't see as much. You don't see as many African Americans in those leadership roles. But when you go to the Southern states, you see that more. And I'm realizing that. And it's also a different type of vibe. It's a different type of feel, when you're working in those type of environments. So I just, I had to comment and say that because I just feel that, overall, diversity is important. And in any position that you're in, any level or environment, diversity is important.
Now, you said, excuse me, I'm sorry. You said that you have, you feel, well, in previous situations, you didn't feel that you could grow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Was it the company itself that had you feeling like that? Was it the environment had you feeling like that? What?
Well, it was the environment. I felt like how the company looked at diversity. You didn't feel as much included. You would look at our meetings and how they were conducted, or the people that were involved in meetings, and you yourself may be in a leadership position, but you're not looked at as you're in a leadership position. It becomes cliquey. You find that you're given tedious tasks to keep you busy, so you won't be a part of other discussions. Certain things you just see it, and you just have to come to a point where you're like, you know what? There's more out there in this field, and I thank God I found different jobs in it because I picked up quality assurance. And quality assurance, for me, it's an amazing thing. I'm no longer on the bench, looking through microscopes anymore. I actually moved away from that a few years ago because I felt that quality, protecting people and making sure that product is compliant and staying up in my regulations is awesome thing. Pushing drugs out to make sure that everyone's all right and safe is a thing that I feel like we do every day. That's what I do every day.
Ooh, Miguel, I'm gonna let you have the floor real quick. I gotta soak that all in.
I'm just in awe. I'm still back on, what was it, MR? I was trying to figure out if the M standard
MRC.
stood for
It's MRC5.
MRC5. Does the M stand for mice?
No.
That's what I was thinking too.
Like because you're using mouse parts and
no,
and what
it
else?
does not say. You know what? Look up MR. Look it up here.
Look, listen. I was actually, while he was going to ask you a question, I was going to Google it and see what came up.
Yes, look it up. Guys,
I'll
it's something that is very important for you to know, because at the end of the day, when we talk about the vaccine, what did they use for the vaccine? Everyone kept bringing it up. Oh, they used MRC5 cells, and MRC5 cells is from a 14-week-old fetus. Yes, we know. Okay. Okay.
This is general conversation. Yeah, we know about the fetus. Keep it going.
We do, and you know what? And I'm not saying it.
We don't need to say it again. We know.
Well, I'm not saying it to. I'm not saying it to be harsh. I'm saying it that. Right. We've been using MRC5 cells for years.
So it's like nothing. It's like regular. It's common to you.
Yes.
It's a common thing.
The chickenpox vaccine is hosted in, some people make it with hosting it in MRC5 cells to create more. It's not uncommon. So people have to know, in order for us to make large quantities, a large amount of vaccine, we have to, host it in something, to produce more. And part of it is hosting in a MRC5 cell. So
can I put myself out there and go ahead and read this definition of MRC5? And I'm just going to go ahead and read it, and I'm going to let you correct my mispronunciations on some of the stuff that I see.
Do you need me to translate?
You might need to pop up some closed captioning or something. But MRC5 is a diploid cell culture line composed of fibroblasts originally developed from the lung tissue of a 14-week-old aborted Caucasian male fetus.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I mean, it says Wikipedia here. I could click on it and read more, but we ain't got that much time.
Yes.
But, aborted and white?
Say it again.
You said aborted and what? Caucasian?
An aborted Caucasian male fetus.
Yes, in the outrage, that's the outrage. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to advocate or talk about that. I'm just saying that as a scientist, that's what we've used before. So when what I was concerned about was when they had outrage over, oh my God, we used the MRC5 cells. And I'm like, okay, we have used those before. You know, it's not, you know, the only thing that's unfamiliar is the mRNA, you know. So I just think that we need to, think about it. But I'm just saying in general, that's what people need to look up, do their research. Because
I get so impressed by Coach Mo every time I talk to him.
Yeah,
I know we add words to our vocabulary. We know about how they use mice fetuses now.
The interesting thing is I make sure that I am knowledgeable in different things. I like to read about things that are not something I'm an SME on, just to know, just to be in the know and understand how things work, so I'm very weird the way I look things up, but you probably would learn a lot around me, guys, because I really do. I know a lot about different things because I just indulge in information. It's out there for us. I always tell my basketball players on a side note, why do we have our phones? I mean, we follow people on Instagram and all these other places, and you ask yourself, are those people actually influencing or about what you're about? And the knowledge that you can get on your phone is just amazing. You have $1 million information plus in your phone.
Listen, I kind of look at it like this when you talk about the phone. Us three here, we didn't grow up with the information with the world in our palm of our hands.
Okay,
right? We didn't. So I'm putting all my business out there. So the phone to us is we'll look stuff up quick.
Yeah.
Most people from our generation, we'll look stuff up quick because before we had to flip through an encyclopedia and read and figure it out. Now we can just put our direct question in there, and the kids now come up with this stuff. I mean, they grow up with this stuff. Kids, by the time they're 6 months old, are working an iPad or a phone or something like that to get to what they want to get to. And it's, for the most part, I think, and I'm speaking in my opinion, it's more of an entertainment device for this generation than it is for our generation, even though we use it for entertainment as well. But we don't know a time where, they don't know a time where things were more difficult to get the information.
Right? Going to the library and going through the little bibliography and having to actually talk to the lady behind the desk.
Are school libraries even going to be are they going to get rid of sections in the school library?
Are they going to get rid of the school library? I think they're always going to keep it.
I hope so, because there's other books, but the school library could get replaced by, and I'm talking about high school, middle school, elementary school. It could be replaced by a computer lab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. Miguel, I think I gave you the floor, and I think somehow
that's twice
talking again. Yeah.
That's twice.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna shut up for 5 minutes.
I don't need 5 minutes, but no, I was wondering how this whole thing with the vaccine and sports, how you were able to kind of navigate through that when we returned back to sports this past spring. What were your emotions like in regards to the hesitancy of getting the vaccine? and maybe even your thoughts on the vaccine, considering that you have more scientific, knowledge and, accurate knowledge. How the vaccine.
So before we get into that, I just wanted to say, when I said that, with regard to diversity, we haven't been doing this too long, this is new for us. Remember, Nancy Lieberman came in 2009 she was the assistant coach for the OKC. So I'm just saying that because 2009 to now it's only 2021, so from that time it's been, we gradually got into the NBA, and look how long it's taken. I just wanted to say that part. So man, the with regard to COVID, it did a lot of damage to our sports teams, our players. Mental health is actually, that's the biggest topic right now. What do we do when we're back? When we're back in full-fledged of everything? I don't talk a lot about the vaccine. I don't speak about it because to me, it's new for everybody. Everything, all of this is new for everyone. So I don't like to persuade people to, get the vaccine or not get the vaccine. But what I will say is this, we are in a time where we know that this could happen. We know that this could happen. And, I just hope that everyone is trying to prevent themselves from, catching it by making sure that they're following protocols such as washing their hands frequently, making sure you're wearing your mask indoors if you're around, tight areas. If you have room to get around, do that. Make sure that you're in areas that's well ventilated and things of that nature. I don't like to try to persuade my opinion on anyone, and especially in this case, because, we've heard so many different things. We've heard people that have had significant side effects. We've heard people that have had no side effects, so with that being said, I cannot necessarily say that it's going to react the same way to one that's going to react to another. So this is why I feel like at the end of the day, I don't speak on it, because you may tell someone, go ahead, get the vaccine. You need to get vaccinated. And what if they have an allergic reaction, and I just pushed and encourage that person to get vaccinated. So I just, what I will say is that protect yourself. Make sure that when you're using hand sanitizer, make sure you put lotion on top, because when you use hand sanitizer with a heavy alcohol base, what happens is it opens your pores up just a little bit more. Alcohol opens your pores up. So with that being said, what you want to do is once you use that hand sanitizer, make sure you seal your hands with some lotion on top, because what happens is the lotion will get stuck in your pores. Okay, because every time that if you're using that heavy alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and then you go around touching things, a lot of times your hands get sticky. And then also too, now what you're doing is your pores are opening up a little bit bigger, not huge, but you're now allowing organisms of bigger micron to be able to get on the surface of your hands and things of that nature. So you just want to make sure that, you wash your hands. I would say that's the best thing to do. And, take precautions, wear a mask when you can.
Do you get a lot of that? Like, do you find yourself, because with people knowing what you do and your career and your education, your studies, do you find yourself like stepping away from those type of questions and not, like, people will come for you for an answer?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when I talk to my wife, she works in the medical field. People always ask her, should I do this? Should I do that? And I kind of tell the same, like, be careful when you tell these people, because if something don't go right, now they coming back to you. And, do you find yourself in that situation a lot where you got to kind of remove yourself from that and say, look, you do this, I can kind of tell you about certain things, but I'm not going to give you an opinion on what you should do. Do you find yourself in those situations a lot?
Yeah, I do find myself, making sure that first and foremost, if someone calls me for advice, it's not like I take time to answer. I don't just sometimes answer off the top of my dome if I don't know, and I think that that's really important as well. I try my best to only answer and be knowledgeable as much as possible on what I do know and can share. If it's something where I know and I need to look up or speak to other people that I know that might be a chemist or an inorganic chemist or whatever information I need, but I do find myself holding back from kind of speaking on certain things. I find myself getting in conversations with people that feel as though that they should never vaccinate, never no type of vaccination, no MMR, nothing. I find I have conversations with people that, for instance, I'm not a doctor, but, being in our field, we understand a lot of what the body, how the body works. We have to take those classes and whatnot. Human physiology was one of my best classes, by the way. But with that being said, I think that, people don't realize how to take care of their body. You got people now, think about it. We're in a time where people are just medicating themselves with everything. You got pills and all types of things. People, instead of paying attention to the signals of your body. And I find myself, sometimes people will call me and be like, oh, well, I have not, I feel bad and my head's hurting and this is that. I'm saying, well, wait a minute. Why do you feel bad? I got to walk them through about what did they eat? What happened? Some people don't even think about what they eat every day.
Yeah.
That? Yeah. They just pick up anything and just eat, like, as we get older, I try to tell people that too, you should be taking vitamins, because our nutrition is depleting unless you're feeding it every day on a regular basis with fruits and vegetables and things that it needs. We're missing out. So with that being said, I just think that I hold back sometimes of giving a lot of people advice because I feel like the holistic approach is a really good approach to the way of living life. And I'm not an advocate for, eating unhealthy. Put it that way. I'm not an advocate for it.
Me either anymore.
Yeah.
Comment. No.
I mean, we're not young. You hit your 30s and you really have to realize that things are a little bit different and you're getting older. That does not mean that you can't still eat a Snickers when you want, but just know that Snickers is gonna catch up to you.
I'm good. I'm good because I had Oreos.
Oh my goodness. One more thing actually I wanted to add in, and this is a deep topic that actually kind of talks a little bit about on the diversity aspect. So I was, first and foremost, I love Clubhouse. Clubhouse is like a world full of information. I feel like if you're
Clubhouse
on the
is cool, yeah.
Clubhouse line, if you get in the right room, you'll hear some very interesting information.
Absolutely.
Being said, we were talking about how NBA players don't really know what they're going to do, or sports players, professional sports players don't really know what they're going to do after they retire. They actually hire people to help them figure out what's next. I say that because that could also be a way of why we don't see as much diversity. Here you have professional athletes that show and have leadership capability, but they haven't become one with it or expose it or even know that it's a hidden talent that they have. And they're unable to figure out what's next for them. And you don't see them now. You're starting to see more of them doing ESPN commentating, but what else more is there for them to do? Yes, they could be running companies, leaders of companies, but we don't see that as much. And we're now starting just to see that, but it's still a lot a lot of work we need to do in that area. And I just wanted to bring that up because that's something else that now is a career for people to teach these, professional athletes what's next for them, brand them, put them out there, find their talent, what's good for them, what's not, what endeavors they can get into.
Yeah, because you look at like Shaq, like he's on everything. He had jewelry at one point. What's that that insurance commercial that he always does now?
The
Oh
general.
yeah, the
General, yeah.
general. Yeah, the general has got like a whole bunch of Papa Johns.
Papa John's, yeah.
He's got Soda Shack. He's got a lot. He's got a lot going on, and he's a commentator.
And I think he's worth more now than he was as a basketball player.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Coach Mo, it's funny that you bring that up about the professional athletes not knowing what they're going to do after they play, because I was just having a conversation maybe 2 days ago about how, and playing college and playing pro, it's two different things. You're doing one for a lifestyle, and the other you're doing for fun, for your education, for whatever the case you're doing it for in college. But I can remember my last conference tournament. I can remember playing in my last conference tournament. I can remember being in the hotel, and I can remember thinking, like, I had a job. I was working in TV, but I was like, wow, baseball is really about to be over for me. And I was like, what am I going to do to fill that void of baseball? Like, how am I going? And I think, like, when you talk about the professional athlete, they're looking to figure out what they're going to do to continue to make their money or continue to live. For the college athletes, like and for the professional, there's also that filling of that void of the sport, something you've been doing day in and day out for how many ever years. The locker room situation where you're in there with your teammates, and the buses, the hotels, all those things. That void is gone. And I want to ask you, because I mean, you kind of answered this last week, but when you were playing in your last conference tournament or whatever, I'm not sure what they did in your conference. They have a conference tournament or
we had a PSAC. PSAC.
Right. Oh yeah, PSAC. Right. When you were basically when your college career was coming to an end, how were you feeling? I mean, you were a microbiologist. You probably had a job lined up or grad school or something. You had something lined up, but I know that last game is always heavy. Heavy.
See, he always picks topics. When I tell you my life is interesting, it's so interesting. So I didn't play my senior year of college basketball. And I didn't play my senior year of college basketball because my grades dropped. I had kind of a nervous breakdown because my grandmom had passed, and it was 2000. So 2007, I came out. My grandmom passed, I think 2006. And my coach had already seen me on a sky rise to like dropping. She was like, listen, you need to change your major. I see that the science, you need to change your majors. You're just not getting it. And I called home to my mentor and I cried. And I said, listen, like, I know I want to be a microbiologist. They're telling me I can't do this, He said, Mo, you going to be a microbiologist. You're going to go and get your degree, and, I just felt like my world was caving in because I didn't want to be sports management. I didn't know what to do. So when I called him and he's like, no, stay in it. So I stayed in it. And then my grades had got to the point where I couldn't play. And my college coach, she said to me, I want you to get your degree and go back and tell others you can't play, but I'm not pulling your scholarship. So she allowed me to keep my scholarship. And to this day, I've been going back and helping others. That's a calling I have on my life. I feel like at the end of the day, what is the importance and purpose of a life is to impact others. Jackie Robinson said it himself, but also I was mentored into that as well, and I just feel like that's, so when you say I had that moment, but it was different for me. I had a moment where I couldn't play no more. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it hurts. Like it literally feels like you don't know what to do. And for me, I didn't have any scientists, other scientists on my team. It was all sports management or education. So I didn't have anybody to really talk to about what I was really going through with science. And then I had a Mel's coach, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Coach York helped me, and it was another coach. And for some reason, I can't think of his name right now. It'll come to me. But he was a math professor, and he helped me. And we used to go on bus rides, and he used to try to help me with my math so I could understand it on a science level and bring it together. So I just say all that because that moment came where I couldn't play no more. And I just was like kind of reacting to it like I was hanging out, for like a week or two, and it felt funny. It feels weird because you don't have anywhere to go. It's like I'm done class. You got workouts, but you're not going. You know you got a game, but you're not going. So what I had to do was a mental shift. And I just thank God I was able to do it because some athletes, if that would have happened to them, they would have been crushed. And I just feel like it was a point where I'm just like, I'm going to be a scientist. I still had something to thrive for because, sometimes we get into that college professional playing basketball and we're like, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. But I came to college already knowing I wanted to be a microbiologist. I came to college knowing that. I came to college knowing that I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to play ball, So what I'm saying is that's why it's so important to find your child's gift early. It's important to feed that into your child early so they can understand. Some people say, oh, you don't know what you're going to be. Yeah, some people do. Some people actually really know what they want to be and they wind up being that. But also parents pull away from the calling. You might see your child playing with something, or you might see, for instance, you might see your child, a male child doing gymnastics in a house, or you might see him doing cheerleading moves and stuff like that. You're just like, well, wait a minute, he's not supposed to be cheerleading, but hey, that may be a gift he has. You don't know, like it depends. Like I just think that's so important. I just thank God that I found a mentor when I was so young. Because honestly, Rory Lewis is my mentor, Justin. And if you remember YEAA or YAA for us, when we used to call it, we had Mr. Wilson, Blair Wilson. He used to help us, So I say all these things because it's so important in your foundation and coming up. But those are the things that gave us the strong mindset. Your dad, gave us. It's just things that I feel like, becoming a scientist. I just seen all of our people and older people that worked with us stick to whatever the calling was for them. And it worked.
Absolutely.
It worked.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a good note to leave it on. At least this conversation. Of course, as you know, this guy over here has how can I work that? He has that nickname down there that I got to try to figure out. And the thing is, I know this one, but I can't think of the name. So
Slick 18.
Slick 18. And
so remember the first part is the actual player's nickname, and then the number is his jersey number.
See, and I don't know jersey numbers in baseball. I don't
know baseball. I don't know baseball. Sorry. I don't know baseball. So I should start watching baseball though.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna be able to
start with college softball though. I think that'll be
college
a lot more
softball. It's so intense, and even college baseball too.
It's a lot more action, and it's a lot more action in it.
For some reason, it just doesn't. I don't know why. It just doesn't hold my attention the way other sports do.
I'm going to tell you why. Because baseball is a different type of grind.
It's right? like the chess of sports. That's what I always tell the players. It's like the chess of sports.
Yeah, really? It's the type of thing where if you watch basketball and you've been watching this game and it's the third quarter and the score is 20-20, it's probably not going to be considered a good game, right? 3 quarters and it's 20-20. If you're watching a baseball game and you're a baseball fan, you know baseball, and you're getting towards the end of the game and the score is 1-1, that's a good game. Like it's kind of backwards. Like if you're looking for the action of football, the basketball, volleyball, baseball is not going to be what you're looking for. But baseball is played in the perfect time of year, in the summertime where you can just sit back, relax, fall asleep, get a sunburn while you're in the stadium, have a beer, whatever. I don't really drink much beer anymore, but have a beer, have a hot dog. Actually, I go to baseball games. I go to the stadium and eat the food. Honestly, I eat the food. The food at baseball stadiums is amazing. But let's go to the nickname. Let's okay. I want to put a new realm into this. So now here's the thing, Mo, and you're going to be a part of this, Mo. I'm making you a part of this. We're going to do it like name that tune. I'm going to say I can get this in 5 hints.
Okay.
And if I don't, then you stump me and you won. So I'm going to say
what do I win?
You win my respect and admiration.
That means he don't get paid. That just means he ain't getting paid this week.
So I think I can get this one in 3 hints.
You should get it in 3 hints.
Okay, give me the first hint. Well, okay, let me. Can I ask who did he play for?
He played for a division rival.
A Phillies division rival. You're saying?
Phillies division rival.
So that's the Braves, the Mets, the Expos, or the Nationals, and I'm forgetting somebody.
Yes,
the Marlins. The Marlins.
You're forgetting another one too.
The Braves, the Phillies, the Mets, the Nationals / Expos, the Marlins. Who else?
There's one more. You're gonna kick
yourself.
Yourself.
Stupid right now. Wait a minute. Who? I gotta go up the East Coast. So you got the Marlins, you got the Braves in Georgia. Nobody in South Carolina. Nobody in North Carolina. Nobody in Virginia, but the Nationals, kinda.
You're going too far south. Stay in the mid Atlantic.
Well, you got the Mets. I said the Mets. Well, give me another hint. Because obviously I'm forgetting the whole team out here.
Black and gold.
That's not a division rival.
That's their colors.
Well, okay, so the Pirates.
There you go.
I was going to say the Pirates.
See, even Coach Mo got one.
But see, that's not fair because you said a division rival. That's not their division.
I was going to say the Pirates. I know the colors.
She knows the colors.
All right, so he played for the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, spit it out.
What era? What era did he play in?
Oh God, I'll say between 80s and 90s.
Between 80s and 90s, so you had Barry Bonds was there, you had Bobby Bonilla was there,
mm-hmm.
Van Slyke was there.
You got it.
Andy Van
Slyke.
I knew I could remember.
Also, before we wrap up, guys, I also want to say one thing.
Say anything you want.
I have to give a shout out to Ann Zayitz. Dr. Zayitz was my microbiology teacher and microbiology teacher at Kutztown, and she actually was my advisor, and I would not have graduated if it was not for her. This lady fought tooth and nail for me, and just always made me never quit. She said, "You're going to finish your degree. You're going to get it." So I definitely have to say, if it wasn't for her, Coach Rory, and Coach Janet Malouf, I probably would have came out a little bit different, So they stayed on me, and I just appreciate that so much. I just had to say that because Dr. Z, which everybody calls her, man, she just likes really, really get you into your groove for microbiology.
What year did you graduate Kutztown?
I came out 2007 in Kutztown.
Because I went to Kutztown for 1 year.
Yeah.
In 98. Back then, all we had was the airport diner.
Yes, I remember the airport diner.
The Turkey Hill at the bottom of the hill and Cupid's Porn Shop. That's all we had.
Okay.
Just saying. It was 98.
We have the bagel shop down. We have the Betty's. Oh my gosh, Betty's. Awesome food. Awesome food. The Mama's wasn't there.
Yeah, Mama's Pizza. Yeah,
Mama's.
Pizza.
Yeah, that's the place.
It was that roll, that hoagie roll. Oh my god! Every Friday I would order it. Yeah.
And the garlic knots.
Yes,
man, bro, I gained like 10 pounds.
I've actually heard about the garlic knots from Mom. I've heard about that. I've made some trips out in that area, in that whole college quadrant, Kutztown, and all them schools,
and all the damn hills. Everything was uphill both ways.
Both ways.
Remember the keg crawl that they used to have? Yeah. Keg crawl, and you had to start at the bottom of the hill to work your way up.
It was crazy because I think I stayed at a Dietrich Hall. That was my that was my dorm.
I was in Old Main.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, and we have this clock that we call chicken because it looks like a chicken from.
Man,
look at y'all.
Your facial expressions.
I'm just waiting to hear my name.
Yeah, but oh my goodness,
he's hilarious.
Waiting to hear my name. That's all. Well, look, Mo, thank you again, Coach Mo. Thank you again for blessing us with your presence on the show. We want to see you around on the Check Swing podcast more and more. We love the energy you've been giving the show.
I know. We got, you know what, guys? We should do a show together. We should have you on, to do
what you doing next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday? I should be free. Let me check my Palm Pilot. Like, check my Palm Pilot. Looks like I do. Looks like we better stop. We can't let the people know we be watching Friday like
her Motorola Razor.
Yeah, a razor. Wow. No, I actually the 23rd. I actually am free on the 23rd.
That's next Wednesday.
Yes.
I'm not looking at the calendar. So I'm sorry. I don't even know what today's date is.
I got you, Justin. I got you.
All right. Yes. Well, it looks like you'll be joining us next week on the podcast. And,
yes, I would love to.
We'll actually be talking to Coach Lenny Jordan. You know who Lenny Jordan is.
Oh, Coach Lenny, yes.
Absolutely. So we'll be talking to him next week.
Do we need to be have that 5-second delay?
Probably
for Coach Lenny. Do we need the bleep button?
I wouldn't be surprised. Let me put it there. I'll tell him beforehand. But I
have so many awesome questions, guys. You guys gotta have a lot of awesome questions for him, right?
Oh, you know
He's done some phenomenal things.
Oh, we're definitely gonna give him his flowers. We gave him flowers out on the show.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna give him his flowers. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, we're talking about so people know we're talking about, and I'm going to start from the bottom. We're talking about county champion, city champion, district champion, state champion, national champion, world champion, Olympic champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's coached them all. So
awesome.
He's coached them all, and he went to a HBCU.
Yes.
So and it's a shame he went to my rival HBCU. So I don't give him that much love, but I just give him the HBCU. So, but this is your turn, Mo. Like I said, thank you so much for being on. We've known each other for a long time. I'm very proud of you. Every time I get to call one of your games, I feel like I know you don't watch baseball, but Miguel knows this movie. You ever watch the movie Sandlot, Mo?
Yes.
So in Sandlot at the end where the dude is he's like calling the game and the dude like steals the base for the Dodgers and that's like his homie from back in the Sandlot. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel like when I'm calling your game. Like you out there coaching, I'm like, yeah, we used to actually play ball together.
Yeah.
And now here she is coaching out here on this floor, getting teams to the state tournament.
Yeah, you kicked her ball down.
I did not. No, I did not.
Miguel,
she kicked Mo-Cheek's ball down the street.
He didn't do it.
Didn't do
okay.
It. I did. Even though she said it in front of my niece.
Wait,
my niece's mother. When I
know.
Came out to see my niece play for your team out in Jersey.
I won't agree to that.
She said in front of my niece's mother, and my future wife that I kicked her ball.
Guess what I did. Guess what I did, Miguel. You're gonna love this. I went out. Well, actually, I have a PlayStation. I now have a PlayStation account, right? and it's Mo Cheeks 55.
Yo, just because of that, I'm getting a PlayStation. I'm going to be.
I'm going to be on Call of Duty playing Mo Cheeks 55 _ one.
That's it. I'm getting a PlayStation now.
PlayStation. I'm going to be on there. Mo Cheeks 55 _ Let's get it. Play some Modern Warfare.
Let's do it.
But thank you, guys.
You're a sniper.
Oh yeah, and zombies. Woo.
Hey, at New Twist Radio, we do a little game streaming too, Mo. So I'm just letting you know.
Really?
I do a lot of things on New Twist Radio. There's a lot of things going on.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
So just so you know, this show is also on Twitch right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Awesome.
So
yes.
But yeah, so it's time for us to go. We gotta go. I gotta actually work in less than an hour. I have to go to work. So
okay, all right. Well, thank you for having me.
That job anyway. I'm sorry.
Thank you for having me, guys.
But yeah, everybody don't have to know.
Oh my gosh, I know you just told the world, Jesus.
Miguel. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Did she just delete herself?
She
I don't know what happened, but well, like I said, thank you, Monique, for being with us. And we're gonna see her next week when we're talking to Coach Lenny Jordan of Penwood Pictures track team. And so for Miguel and myself, I think it's time for us to get on out of here. Miguel, any last words before I take us out?
No. Well, nothing much. Just no. I'm good. I thought it was great insight on diversity and even some of the scientific stuff with what she experienced with COVID and her experience as a microbiologist and that MNRA and what was it? Goat liver
MRC5.
MRC5.
It was the fetus of the lung of a male, an aborted Caucasian male fetus, and a mouse. She's not here to correct me, so I'm not making up as I go along, but I'm trying as hard as I can.
You're trying to remember what you forgot. That's what it is.
Exactly. So for myself and Miguel and Mo, who will be with us next week, we'll talk to y'all next week. We appreciate y'all for checking this out. Check us out again. Peace.